Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the entire Department of Design, IIT Hyderabad, I welcome Ms. E.A. Jayamuthu Sandamali Edirisinghe. She was a senior lecturer attached to the Faculty of Computing, NSBM, Green University Town, Humagama, Sri Lanka. And she was also the founding course director for the multimedia degree program for 5 years, 5.5 years in NSBM. She joined NSBM as a lecturer in 2012, promoted as a senior lecturer in 2017, and has an 8 years of experience in academia. She has a Bachelor's of Design honors degree from the University of Maratua, specializing in graphics and communication design. Further, she has completed her Masters of Design at IIT Bombay, specializing in visual communication. Her research interests are typography, information graphics, publication design, illustrations, and visual narration. Moreover, she has a special inclination towards art and crafts as well as paper manipulation. She's currently working as a visiting lecturer. Please welcome Ms. Sandamali Edirisinghe, who's here with us to talk about art, crafts, and design in Sri Lankan context. All over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I'll start with the presentation then.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
I didn't hear the introduction, but hope you all have already introduced me, and thanks for the introduction. And we'll start the session. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. Over
Right.
to you.
Yeah, I'll start. Can you all see the screen?
Yes,
Can you all see the screen?
yes, we can.
Yeah, okay. I'll start with the presentation. Actually, today I'm going to discuss about Sri Lankan art, design, and craft. Mainly, I'll be starting the session with just an introduction to just as a discussion about art, design, and craft. And again, if there are any differences and similarities between art, design, and craft, we'll discuss about that first, just to get the introduction to the session. And then I'll be moving on to Sri Lankan art. Mainly, I'll be discussing about candy and mural paintings because those are very important. Mainly, I'll be focusing on Sri Lankan traditional masks because those are very important when we talk about Sri Lankan crafts. And then finally, I'll be just summing up with Sri Lankan design in Sri Lankan context. Those are the main content I'll be covering within this 1 or 1.5 hours, right? This is the outline of the session then, and I'll be starting with a very basic question: what is design? Right, just to get an understanding about the students and all, can I ask this question from y'all? What is design, as you all know? Can anybody respond?
It's a solution.
Yes, yes, students.
Problem solver.
Problem solving, yes. And any other? Yes.
Empathizing people, customers, users.
Sorry.
Ma'am, empathizing customers and users for whom we need to make our designs.
Yes. And let's just
giving aesthetics to mechanism. Any
sorry?
giving any aesthetics to any mechanism.
Giving any status to any mechanism.
Yeah, working by, yeah.
Okay, good. And shall I pose and I'll ask another question. Is there any difference between art and design? And there are, you all know, there are different terms design, art, and crafts. Are those same or are they are different?
No, I think art is more personal and design is more user driven.
Sorry, I can't. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
art is more personal.
and design always has a purpose. Design has
Yes, art is kind of personal. Design is not
art
like.
is open to interpretation, and design is something which always serves a purpose.
Yes, good.
Yeah, I feel like art. Yeah, design has a purpose, whereas art is a
It
reflection
could
or
be
a personal
self-expression also, right? In art,
what you want to show,
yeah.
rather
In
than
design, you have to have a purpose.
it is not defined by a user. Yeah.
Okay. In art, we don't define any like a target audience, as in like whereas in design, we have to have a target audience. We have to have a specific target audience, and we have to have a specific message to convey, right? Yes. What else? What are the other differences between art and design? Just to have an introduction, right? Actually, like there are so many differences between arts, crafts, and design. And in design, as most of you all mentioned, it has to have a target audience and it has to have a specific message, and we are communicating a specific message to our target audience, and we everything is pre-planned and it is always problem solving. Whereas in art and craft, there won't be a problem, but it could be just the expression of artist or craftsman, right? And again, in design, it is not aesthetic only, but even the functionality is important. I know you all are aware of these terms, and I just wanted to take the introduction to the session with these, just to remind you all that there are differences between these terms and all. In crafts, usually crafts are the things like people have been doing for like years, it's like it could be potters and weavers, and there are so many different crafts. Same as in your country, even we have a lot of crafts in Sri Lankan context. Right, we'll be discussing about Sri Lanka art, craft, and design mainly. Right, I'll move on to the next slide. Right, you all know that Sri Lanka is an island just next to your neighboring country, actually. Right, I'll just give some facts about Sri Lanka just to start with the presentation. Right, mainly we have Sinhalese here, and Tamils are also there, and we have Theravada Buddhism, which is actually the origin is in India itself, and again Hinduism is there, and Christianity and Islam, and those are the like religions we have here. And mainly we have only three languages we talk, the first language being Sinhalese, and again Tamil. There are Tamil speaking people in Sri Lanka, and again uh, in English is also being used here in Sri Lanka, right? Those are the, some information about Sri Lanka, uh, and then we'll move on to Sri Lankan art traditions, right? In Sri Lankan art traditions, mainly the origins are actually from India. As you all know, Indian influences, you all must be aware of these things, some of these. Right, in Sri Lankan art, you all can see the Indian influence a lot, right? Here, mainly when we discuss about Sri Lankan art history, we have different kingdoms in ancient Sri Lankan society. There were kingdoms starting from Anuradhapura, and then Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa are some of the famous and the very first kingdoms we had in Sri Lanka. And then Dambadeniya, Yamahuwa, and likewise Kotte, Gampola, and Kandy. Oh, those are some of the like uh, main cities in those kingdoms, right? Those are the main kingdoms we had. We had eight main kingdoms in Sri Lankan history, and then mainly we have different art traditions and all in these kingdoms, and again it was always with the royal patronage and all, art evolved in Sri Lankan context, right? Then still there are some art critics and all who divide these different not like in different kingdoms, but in different ways, like early historical period from 250 BC to 500 AD, likewise middle historical period, and again late history, and again late historical period 2, and modern historical period. These are the periods we divide, categorize into when we discuss about art history. Right, let's move forward. And in the very early and middle historical period, there are different art traditions we had. Mainly we call it classical style. That is also again there is Indian influence a lot in these classical art style, right? some of you all might have heard about like Sigiriya paintings, Sigiriya frescoes, which is very prominent in this classical style art in Sri Lankan context. It is actually, it belongs to 5th century BC, and again, those like Sigiriya is a like very big fortress, and where like there were mural paintings of frescoes were there, and those are belonging to the classical style of art. Right, I'll show some examples so that you all it will be clearer to you all. And these are bit similar to Ajanta cave paintings in India. The like the way the use of color and the way they have done, there are like similarities with those Ajanta paintings in India. But there are unique Sri Lankan features also coming in these frescoes. Right, here you all can see the way like they have used colors, and those are mainly they in those like classical style paintings they use like colors like uh, then very rarely they use blue and all, but there was like brown and yellow. Those colors were used mainly, right? In Sigiriya frescoes, you all can see some examples here. And again, actually, there are like very like lot of paintings in Sigiriya. I can like if it is clear here, you all can like I can show you all some of the like it is very like there are many paintings there in the same style we call as classical style of painting. Right, hope you all can see it.
Yes.
Right,
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll show some of the examples. I have put some in the slides as well. Right, and then moving on to the like next stage. Right, here there are even Tivanka Image House is another place where we have classical style painting. Those are coming in another stage of art, but still bit similar to Sigiriya style, but it has been evolved a lot by that time. Right? And then out of Dambadeniya and Yapahu and Kotte, those are actually the next three kingdoms we had after Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa. After that, we had Dambadeniya, and then again the main kingdom changed into Yapahu and again to Kotte. But there are very less paintings remaining preserved from those eras, because even the like even the kingdoms and the like there were if the country had a politically unstable stage in that area, that era. That's why it's very like even the paintings are very rarely remaining from those eras. There is a like some say that there is a gap in Sri Lankan art history during that period. Yet there are like stone carvings and sculptures and all in Yapahua rock fortress to prove that even in that period there have been art in Sri Lankan context, in Sri Lanka mainly, like though there are very rare, the paintings are rare to be seen today, right? But the Yapahu is one of the places from that era. We can see that it is a very huge fortress where like there are many like nice carvings and sculptures and all, mainly stone carvings and all remaining even today, right? Okay, and then comes the late historical period. In like as I mentioned before, also after like 13th century AD, the country's political stability collapsed, and then that's why the kingdoms also changed from Dambadeniya to Yapahuwa to Kotte and Kampala. Likewise, kingdoms changed rapidly, and again finally, country's unstable political conditions changed, and then after that in 17th AD Kandy became the capital, and again after Kandy being the capital, like even the arts and crafts evolved a lot, and it was like even the different the style also changed into highly stylistic folk art form. Like whereas in classical period it was more natural, and the art traditions and all all the paintings and all were natural. Whereas when it comes to the like 17th, 18th, and 19th century, all those changed into very like stylistic forms and all. It was very different from the previous stage or classical style. But again, in even in 18th century and all Canadian paintings, we could see a lot of Indian influence as well, mainly like South Indian contemporary traditions were like the origin for even the Canadian style. Here you all can see some of the remaining paintings in Dambulla Cave Temple. Those are very big caves where there are like paintings on the ceiling and the walls and all, right? Mainly those were related to Buddhist themes, and again the color schemes were like red, yellow, orange, and all colors were used. Very rarely they had blues and greens in their paintings. Mostly earthen colors were used in those paintings. Yes, the Kandyan period is very prominent in Sri Lankan art history, as I mentioned before. Also, it is actually Kandy is the capital of uh, Sri Lanka in 17th century, and again after 17th century till British invade in 1815. Actually, after that, like before that, Kandy was very like prominent, and again it's not only in art, even the other like crafts and all, like there was it was very prominent. That period is considered as one of the very prominent period in Sri Lankan art and craft history, because it was evolved and changed a lot in that particular period. But the thing is, actually, after British invade, then everything like sometimes even the like uh, art and like paintings and all were like destroyed by them. And again, there are like still in Canadian painting, there are around 300 like temples where still Canadian paintings are remaining, because like it is mainly in Kandy region. Yes, there are even other uh, temples in coastal area, few temples in coastal area which has been affected by these Candian style paintings, and they have used these Candian paintings even in the like coastal area sometimes. But mainly those out of like those 300 new like temples, Buddhist temples, like mainly those are like within the Kandy premises, right? And then Hanging mural painting also, it can be divided into two different categories. Mainly there are two schools: Central Candian style and Southern style. Because like in the Central Candian style, it is actually the origin of that particular art tradition. They had different like mainly those were in Buddhist temples, and they had a very stylistic form of art. Whereas in southern, when it comes to southern coastal areas and all, there were other influences to the same Canadian style painting. For example, like after British invade the country, even there like guns and all could be seen in some of the mural paintings in like Buddhist temples. And again, there were like postcards and all, which are like in southern style Canadian painting, because those are the influence from other invaders and all. Those influence could be seen in the southern style paintings. That's why we have two different schools of Canadian painting itself, because Central Canadian style is the origin, or it is the like basic form we had at the beginning, but it was influenced by other invaders and all, and then there were minor changes in the southern style, right? It was like those southern paintings can be mainly found in southwestern coastal areas of Sri Lanka. Right here, you all can see some of the examples we have from Canadian style paintings. These are the Canadian art tradition. Those are like very stylistic, not like the previous classical art tradition. because in the previous one it was more realistic and all, but here you all can see it is very there are a lot of motifs and all used here. Traditional motifs are there, lotus flowers and all, like they had a lot of decorative elements in their paintings. You all can see, even here you all can see there are many decorative elements and all. And again, even the paintings, like figures and all, were very detailed with lines and all. The way they use elements were very different from the previous classical style. And again, the color scheme you all can see mainly in this like mural painting. It was like maroon color was used very heavily to backgrounds and all. And again, there were lines used to like outline the figures, not like in the previous classical style paintings. And again, yellow color and maroon color were very like highly used in these mural paintings. And all of these paintings were related to Buddhist culture, like Buddhist Jataka stories and all. And this is one scene from like Vesantara Jataka, which comes in Buddhist Jataka stories. Here there are like those like the incidents related to Lord Buddha, and again the Buddhist Jataka stories were depicted in these mural paintings, and those mural paintings were in horizontal strips. Like I'll show some examples also, and those were very stylistic, and it was not very like natural like in previous stage. Here you all can see the way they have used lines and all. It is very right a detail, not like in previous ones. Again, like the way they depict different elements in nature and all, you all can see it is very stylistic, and some are like from the top view and all, the way they like it is very stylistic but not natural at all. And the different nature, the way they depicted nature in their paintings and all. But the color scheme was very like you all can see those were in horizontal strips. And all the Jataka stories, scene by scene, they depicted different stories and all in horizontal strips in the same Kandian painting style. Right? Those are some other examples. All of these are from like Buddhist Jataka stories, and they had written even the like name or the, like what was depicted under the each painting. There was a small description what is there in the scene. It was by like scene by scene, like in the story they have depicted nicely in horizontal strips. These are some of the other examples where the Lord Buddha and all the like Buddhist related incidents were depicted. And wherever they had a small space, they used to have different decorative elements, motifs, traditional Sinhalese motifs and all. They used a lot of motifs to decorate, and again to like have the balance in the compositions and all. And mostly they are like they had like symmetric designs in their like paintings. Even the figures and all were very like properly they have drawn with like symmetrical. It is like the way mostly the like normal human figures they were depicted in the side view, whereas Lord Buddha and the kings and all sometimes they used to have him facing the front. And again, these are some of the like motifs they had. They like and again in some cave paintings in Kandian era, they used to have a lot of like motifs in the ceiling. These are some of the examples of those motifs, and they had the same color scheme to have those decorative elements in traditional paintings. Right. Hope you all are listening, and if you all have any questions and all, you all can like message here. I will just keep on explaining about this. These are some of the like painting, like this is the summary of the painting history we in Sri Lanka. Even these painting styles have Indian influences, as I mentioned before. Also, in the very initial stage, Ajanta painting style and all were used here also, and again towards the latter part in Candian era and all, southern Indian influence was visible in some of the temple paintings here in Sri Lanka. And let's move forward and we'll move on to Sri Lankan craft history also. As you all know, same as in your country, we have a lot of different crafts in here. And hand, you all can see some images from like handloom industries also there as a craft, or like, and again batik is there. I think it is there in India also. Batik is there. These are like some of the traditional batik we have here, depicting like Perahara or the procession, as well as procession. We have one of the main events here in Sri Lanka. Right, you all can see in the right hand corner there is mask carving, like carvers are there, like the way they have carved mask is very different, and again their nature and the look and feel and all are different from others. But we'll discuss about mask mainly here after this. And brassware is there, and again mat weaving, Dumbara mat are very prominent here in Sri Lankan crafts. And again, here in the bottom, you all can see those are also another Sri Lankan traditional craft. We call as lac work. That is also very prominent. They had different color schemes and very decorative elements and all motifs in those as well. And in the bottom corner, you all can see lace work. That is also lace. It is also practiced as a one of the traditional craft here, and there are some other more crafts I have not mentioned all here, but we will be looking at mask like as a craft, Sri Lankan craft after this, right? There are so many different crafts, and most of these crafts have been influenced from has Indian influence also. And you all know that we got Buddhism from India, and again when Sangamika came down to India, then a lot of craftsmen were there with her, and then after that those Indian influence is highly visible in Sri Lankan arts and crafts. Right, and to start with, I'll show. I have put one image of the god Vishwakarma. This is actually we consider Lord as the Lord of Arts and the Master of all handicrafts and all. Here, I think it is even it is coming from like Maharashtra. Some I think it is also from India. We have got this influence, right? And we consider God Vishwakarma as one of the very important character when it comes to art and craft history in Sri Lanka. That's why I have included one image also. Yes. And then shall we move on to a traditional Sri Lankan mask? And as I mentioned before, also mask is very prominent in Sri Lanka, and we have different color scheme, and the way they use the lines and all the decorative elements are different from painting, and it is actually different from Sri Lankan painting traditions, right? Mainly mask are being mask culture is there in the southern part of Sri Lanka, southern coastal area. Mainly it is in Ambalangude area. It is actually known as the heart of Sri Lankan traditional mask. And when we talk about mask in Sri Lanka, it is always connected to Sri Lankan folklore. And there are many tales and all related to mask, how the origin, and there are different purposes of having these masks, and mainly those are for healing rituals and all. like there are diseases and all, and then those days people thought that these are because of bad demons and all. These people get sick. That's why they used these masks, and they had mask dances and all in order to do some healing rituals. Uh, I think it is also coming from India again. Here we have separate like different mask sets. For example, there are like sunny masks. We have 18 sunny masks, and actually those represent different diseases and different diseases, and these are actually we call yakas or disease. They are they thought the Sri Lankan, like those people in ancient Sri Lanka, they thought that these demons or devils make people ill. That's why we had different 18 masks we call as Sunni masks to depict those diseases. And then we have again other like kolam mask. Those are different from the Sunday mask, and those are like a bit of comic performance are there with kolam mask. And again, those are some are very made with sarcastic way and all. Those are very different from Sunday mask. And another type of mask we have is Raksha mask. Those are also different from the rest. Right? I'll show some examples. Then it will be clearer to you all, right? Um, and there are even mass dances and Poland mass were used for dramas, kind of those are performed in a different way, not like in Sangli mass, right? I'll show some examples, and here you all can see the mask makers how they craft those things, and they have been colored in different way, and even they have used blue and green colors other than orange and yellow color in lighting painting. This is different because they have used many different colors, and there are a lot of detailing. You all can see here there are a lot of detailing, and most of these have different symbolic like expressions and all. They wanted to communicate different symbols, and there are different iconic masks here. I'll show some examples. Right, let's go through the slide as well. Right, it's believed that the exorcism rituals of Sri Lanka stem from the folk region got again from India, and around 5th or 6th century AD. It is again coming from mass tradition also. It came from India, as I mentioned before also. Right, and these are mainly performed in Sri Lankan low country we call, actually it is the southern coastal area of Sri Lanka. Right, there are several reasons for staging Tawil. We call it Tawil ritual. That is actually we call these performance, mass performance as Tawil, and those are mainly to send away, protect people from negative forces, bad omens and all, bad devils and all. We do these surveys in order to protect people, sometimes individuals or an entire community, from these bad negative forces. Right? These are having then healing or curative function, mainly related to these mass traditions. A survey ritual requires at least 3 performers. Mainly, there is a shaman priest who is actually the leader of this entire performance. He is the one who introduced the other characters, and again, he is the one who leads the entire dance performance. And again, there are exorcists, and again, dancer, and the drummer is also there. Sometimes even the drummer uh, join with the dancer and the shaman priest when they have dialogues and all. And all these 3 characters are needed. Sometimes there are more, but mainly at least it names these 3 characters. The drummer is needed, and again the dancer and the shaman priest is there when we have Tawil performance. sometimes all these three get together in the dialogue and all, and some dialogues are very it is sarcastic, and humor is also been added. And again, usually in choral performance, what happens is like at the initial stage, what happens is there are like 12 parlier coming in, and then they prepare the ritual, like the space and all, for offerings and all. After that only, these like I mentioned about 18 Sannimas. After 12 parlier comes, after that they uh, make all the like prepare for the offerings for deities and all. After that only Sunnis come, yakas come. Right. Likewise, there are different stages of these soil performance. Also, finally, they have like different dialogues and different dances and all to send away all the bad forces. These are scenes from the bow between Garudas and Snake. These are some of the very famous performance when it comes to Sri Lankan mask performance. And these here also you all can see the like costumes and all. There are like similarities between South Indian like mask performance, even the costumes and the way they perform and all. There are similarities with South Indian mask performance. Right, and actually the Sunni masks are to depict some of the sicknesses or the diseases. There are 18 Sunni masks when it comes to Sri Lankan mask tradition. Usually what happens is like there are 12 Pali, there are 12 masks called Pali masks. I'm showing it here, you all can see. These are Pali masks. There are 12 Pali masks which come at the initial performance of the these mask performance. And these Pali masks, what they do is they come and prepare the like ritual space for offerings. And after that, the Sunni masks come. The Sunni masks are actually to depict 18 sicknesses, and there are some masks like depicting like deaf people, and there are different diseases being depicted using these masks. Even the colors they use, and again the way they like show the expressions and all, like exaggerated sometimes. And they like there are 18 of these Sunni masks depicting these different illnesses. And in this Sunni performance also there are dances, and again music is there, and again there are dialogues in order to keep the crowd engaged, and again like keep the performance energetic throughout the performance. And like these people, the dancers are wearing masks and like having different conversations or dialogues, and they try to send away the bad bad devils and all bad forces, making these people sick. They think that all these bad forces make the people sick. That's why they are having different dialogues and all in order to send them away from the individuals, or sometimes from the entire community. Right. And again, we call it Sanni Yakuma also. We call those Yakas, the devil people, as Yakas, and those we call Sanni Yakuma is actually these Sanni does Sanni mask performance, having 18 different diseases depicted in those. And actually out of these, the main one, there is one big mask called Mahakola mask. I'll show that as well. Here the Mahakola mask is there, where all these 18 Sunnis are there in it itself. In the same one, this is a very huge one, having all the 18 different Sunni masks depicted in the same mask, and all these diseases and all. And this is also coming at the end. This is called as Mahakola Sanni, or it is actually the leader kind of all these demons. All 18 are depicted in the same mask. This is the chief of Sanni, actually, Sanni mask. Right, you all can see these are some of the Sanni masks. Examples for Sanni mask. These are very dramatic, and the way they have like depicted all the like emotions and the colors and all are different and very exaggerated in order to keep it all like interesting. All these 18 Sannimas are there in the same Mahakola Sanya mass. Right, this is actually we consider that Mahakola Sanya is the one who is responsible for all these physical diseases and physical and mental diseases. That's why we have depicted all the disease mass also here in the same Mahakola Sanya mass, which is considered as the chief of these. Right, and then again we have like other than the Sunday mass and all, we have Kolam mass. That is actually a bit different from the previous mass, and this is considered as like the history has different stories related to this Kolam mass. There is a legend that there was a like king called Mahasammata, who is actually considered as the very first king here. These Kolam mass performance were made because that king's queen has a craving for that mass performance when she was pregnant. Then the entire mass performance start from that. According to the Sri Lankan history, we call as like the King Mahasammata's wife was the queen was pregnant, and she had a like very craving to see these performance. That's why it all started according to our history. And Kolamas were again designed to perform comic folk kolam dances. Like it was actually not like the previous ones. Those are a bit sarcastic and like humor is being added here. And there are like depictions of villages, and again like day-to-day incidents were also kind of taken into consideration when they had kolam mass performance, not like in the previous one. Actually, in all of the kolam performance, usually we keep the king and queen's mask also always throughout the performance, just to depict that like the ancient legend or the mythology we have about the King Mahasammata and his wife. That's why we have even like a king and queen's mask also. Those are very like huge masks. Even those are very big in size also, because they wanted to have those very like as powerful. Those are very heavy, and you all can see here. Here are the like King Mahasammata. These are very like huge masks, and again queen's mask also there. Those are like there are very different types of masks, and there are villagers masks and all like which are just normal, not like the king and queen's mask. King and queen's mask were with very lot of motifs and decorations, whereas these are bit normal ones are there. Right? Let's move forward. And again, in these kolam mass performance, the dialogues and all are more down to earth, and those are like depicting natural, like day-to-day things and all. There are narrations of day-to-day lives of royal servants and different villages and all. And another type of mass we have is Raksha mass. That is actually different from the previous two, Sunny mass and Kolam mass. Right? And again, Raksha also there are like Nagarashka, Raksha, or that is actually the cobra, Naga is cobra. And again, Gurulu Raksha is there, it is actually a bird. And again, Maru Raksha is actually the demon of death. Those are some of the like very prominent Rakshamas we have here. Right? These are like village, this is a village washerman, and again this is a village beauty. Like those are actually they acted like in different like comic scenes and all. They had different sarcastic dialogues and all related to day-to-day lives of Sri Lankan villagers. And even the kolam mass is again coming in the southern area, coastal area of Sri Lanka. or we call it low country here. And like these are like a bit sarcastic, and it includes humor and all in column performance. And these plots bind several stock characters and scenes together. They have different scenes, and they like have different stories related to day-to-day things. And actually, like some of them are based on Jataka stories actually, because even the religious influence is also there. Buddhism being the like main religion here, like Buddhist Jataka stories are also being used in some of these. Whereas the characters like sometimes sing, and again sometimes have different dialogues and all, and sometimes they are sung by the characters itself, and again sometimes they are sung by nearby singers and all when they have a column performance. Yes. And usually in this column performance, what happens is like it happens in a round performance, and like three of the sides are like occupied by audience, and they have at least two drummers, and they also get together, like join in the conversations and dialogues with the characters or actors. And mainly there is one narrator or the like master of ceremony. He is the one who leads the entire performance, and again he also sometimes get together, join with the characters when there are dialogues and narrations. They also get join with the other dancers. Right, as I mentioned before, also these even these column dances were performed throughout the night in earlier times, but nowadays it is being limited to just 2 or 3 hours because of the like today hectic lifestyles and all. You can see this is one scene from a column dance. Even there were like masks related to like animals. Animal faces were also being created in these column masks, and again villagers and all were there as like masks in these column performance. Well, right, as I mentioned before, also like Indian influence can be seen like in most of the Sri Lankan arts and crafts, and you all know that like mainly three Indian art traditions were like influenced, can be seen as influential in Sri Lankan art. Amravati art tradition is also there. At the very like early painting, we could see Amravati style or the Andhra style coming from India, influencing Sri Lankan art from the very beginning. And again, later in around in 5th century to 6th century, we could see Gupta influence, and again it is also again from India, and again later in like 6th to 7th century and all, we could see Pallava influence also when we talk about Indian influence in Sri Lankan art, and like there were like some South Indian and all influences even for mass traditions in Sri Lanka. Right, like as I mentioned about Sigiriya paintings or Sigiriya frescoes before, like those are a bit similar to contemporary Indian work, as in like Ajanta cave paintings and all are very similar to like those are having similarities, whereas we have like some unique features also in our Sigiriya paintings and all. And again, after that we have Tiwanka image house in Polonnaruwa. That is also, that is again, it dates back to 12th and 13th century. And there also we could see, notice the Indian influence in those paintings as well. And later I discussed about Candian paintings, where like again those were in horizontal strips and all. Those reflect contemporary styles in of India in 18th century and all. Southern India actually, in the southern Indian influence is there for Candian paintings, right? And again, even the mass culture here, it is being influenced by the southern Indian mass performance and traditions. Right, this is about Sri Lankan. Like I have some of all there are a lot to talk about Sri Lankan paintings and art traditions and crafts and all. I have mainly discussed about like mass tradition here in Sri Lanka, and again painting history in as a summary. Right, hope this is you all at least got a glimpse of Sri Lankan art and craft history, and as in when we talk about Sri Lankan design, we can't it is actually uh, now you all know that it is globally we have uh, global influence. It's like globally it is similar, not we don't have very prominent Sri Lankan unique designs, but even there are the differences between arts and crafts and all are be kind of blurred nowadays. For example, I have taken some of the examples from which are from getting Sri Lankan craft influences and all. Here you all can see in the right hand corner, you all can see even the batik industry nowadays, they use a lot of modern batik, uh, not traditional batik, but even here also I have put another image from batik itself, which are very modern, and these are even your. We can say that even the boundaries between these art crafts and design are being kind of blurred nowadays. For example, let's say if we take any fashion show today, you all can see even wearable art is there, and there are some sometimes they use even fashion designers and all, they use indigenous things when they do their designs. Likewise, those are kind of blurred. These differences are kind of blurred now when it comes to design. As I mentioned before, also in art, we mainly look at the aesthetic aspect, whereas in design, we can't forget about the functionality. We have to like uh, have both aesthetic and functional value when it comes to design, and like there are different even ceramic designs, and again even the paintings and all, there are 3D paintings and all here, and you all can see even the masks have been used as a ring here. Those are very modern type of, even though they are coming from the roots itself, traditional mask traditions and all, still they are being even using modern designs. Right, you all can see different ceramic designs and all. There are, I'm not going to talk about design much because it is actually globalized, and we can't say that it is uniquely Sri Lankan, but still we have a lot of different designs here in Sri Lanka as well. Right? Hope this is clear. I have sum up many things to fit in the time limit I have, and I have included some of the references also related to these Sri Lankan paintings and all, which I have used for these slides. Right, it's time for you all to ask questions.
So great. I think that was a lovely presentation. Thank you, Joya, for your talk and taking us through a journey of your beautiful country, Sri Lanka, and thoughts from the past and to their significance as a contemporary present. It is very useful for all the designers to understand art, craft, and of course, design. We learn to value and appreciate artifacts and paintings and traditions across cultures. Also, for all the students, it is important for you to think and ponder upon why arts and craft is important in today's age, why we should preserve it, and what role it plays. Every society has its cultures, the pattern of how people live and express themselves, and how they value objects and thoughts, and what objects really identifies as culture, and what ideas does shape a culture. So all these things you need to think upon and answer, look for answers. And for Jaya, it is really interesting to note how, despite of such geographical differences, we find similar examples of both paintings and frescoes of Ajanta and Sigiriya.
Right.
Then Ghanaian paintings and Sri Lankan mask is also a very prominent feature in Sri Lanka. So thank you so much, Jaya, for joining us today and sharing your experience with all of us at IITH. Thank you once again.
Yes, and I hope you all at least got an idea about Sri Lankan arts and crafts. And I can share some like videos and all with Ankita. Share some links so that anyone and again the books I have a reference books. I'll share those with you so that you can share if anyone is interested in knowing more about this. Right? There are nice like videos and all. I didn't show those because of the time limitations and all. I'll send the link so that you all can even have a look at.
Sure, that will be really great, really helpful. And also the book list, the patterns book that you were talking about.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is, yeah, I will send you. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting that good to know that you all are also interested in these ones. And again, you all are asking questions and like actively participating in the session. Sometimes what happens is like we just talk and we don't get any responses and then it gets bored. It's good to see that you all are interested in these as well. Okay.
Yeah. And whenever you are in India, please visit Hyderabad and IITH.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.